just to wrap up today's activity, let's have a brief recap on three key things that were discussed by our speakers. It talks about diplomacy, technology and information and change, and the need for cooperation and collaboration for maritime law enforcement, maritime security, and maritime domain awareness. So under diplomacy, there's a challenge for us to revisit the relationships that we have and how we do our proper communication. It challenges to look at what is the mandate versus the manpower, because at the end of the day, policies will only be as effective as the people who implement them. And of course, the added challenge of the Undersecretary for Civilian Security and Consular Affairs, Yusek Gary Domingo, on the role of the PCG as ambassadors in whatever capacity that you have, whether you are in an international training and landscape, or if you are doing your challenge or your mandate in monitoring and practicing maritime security. Under the component of Attorney Acero or Attorney Kiko, he focused on concepts on technology, innovation, and change. So he touched on the concept of the need for data privacy, data security, and cybersecurity. So with that was also a challenge to being innovators or trendsetters when it comes to making our plans, policies, implementing change in practices, as well as the programs, and also making a culture of change and innovation within the people. Particularly for this forum, the challenge is on the people, is on or those who are in the Philippine Coast Guard. The third concept with Sir Robert over here focused on the cooperation and collaboration for maritime law enforcement, security, and maritime law awareness. Beyond the executive order that establishes the National Maritime Council, we are asked to revisit the internal and external structures that make the maritime law enforcement, security, and domain awareness possible. So we also talked about, together with Yusek Gary, the need for interagency collaboration both on the national and international stage, as well as the assistance support of the different organizations inside, not just within the government, but also outside the government, which include agencies like GIZ, perhaps JICA, and the other embassies. So all in all, we look at these concepts of diplomacy, technology, innovation, and change, cooperation and collaboration for maritime law enforcement, maritime security, and maritime domain awareness. So as we discuss these topics, these are not just topics that we keep to our mind. They are not just topics that we are here for just for us to learn, but rather, as Sir Robert said, this is an avenue for us for them to pick your brains, everyone's brain. It is not always good, in change management, that we conform to what has been practiced, but maybe looking at different lenses that make our work more efficient. So with that comes with a challenge to the Philippine Coast Guard, whether as an individual officer or enlisted personnel or as an organization, for the ability for sustainable change, collaboration, and of course, better communication systems. So at this point, after we have issued this challenge, maybe we can request some of our members or colleagues from the Philippine Coast Guard and participants to perhaps give some thoughts, because this is our formal synthesis, but maybe some of you can also offer your thoughts, reflections on the topics and the discussions, the conversations, the question and answer that we had from it. It can be a comment, it can be a question, still an extended question, it can be a feedback. So baka po may gusto pong mag-start, who would like to share? Wala pong mahiwa, because again, this is an opportunity for us to share thoughts, to collaborate, to pick each other's brains out po. Anyone?
Lang sa kanina, although it's passing lang na daanan ni Yusek Domingo, but what struck me is yung ASEAN Philippines na maging ASEAN leader dun sa area na yan, which the Philippine Coast Guard is also uh, uh, yung upping the ante for us with yung establishment, hoping for the formal establishment of the ASEAN Coast Guard Forum, which, while it is being facilitated by the Indonesian Coast Guard or the Bakamla, but it is the impetus idea of the Philippines through the Philippine Coast Guard na nabuo siya. And we are on the third iteration of the ASEAN Coast Guard Forum with the Philippine Coast Guard as the host for this year in June. And we're hoping that part of the goal of that establishment is for it to be considered as one of the sectoral body of the ASEAN. And aside from that, as part of the yung approach din natin, meron tayong three approach na ginagawa with the help of the DFA also, is that for it to be concretized at yung involvement ng other ASEAN countries na maging active participants talaga siya, other than those landlocked countries in the ASEAN, meron din tayong effort on bilateral engagement sa kanila. And part of the agenda that we're pushing through the bilateral is for them to actively participate dun sa ASEAN Coast Guard Forum, which we have significant progress with the recent signing ng MOU natin with Vietnam Coast Guard, na during the second iteration of the ASEAN Coast Guard Forum, hindi sila nagpaparamdam, but right now they already send us a information that they will be actively participating. And also, Brunei is also coming back to the picture. Na they will also be attending, and Myanmar, though medyo may diplomatic concern tayo dun sa kanila, but they'll also be attending the forum, and we're hoping for Lao PDR and Timor-Leste to join. But that's other effort through the bilateral cooperation and also the multilateral on the ACF. But also the DFA is also helping us in pushing the agenda of the establishment of the ASEAN Coast Guard Forum in the 40-year roadmap of the ASEAN, and we're hoping that it will be accepted so that we could have more avenues. So yun yung nakikita natin na yung Philippines ngayon is in the forefront of wanting to lead. And ang nakikita kasi na maganda dito sa ASEAN Coast Guard Forum, this will be the first na ASEAN-centric lang siya on Coast Guard and law enforcement agency. And we're hoping as we go along, meron na rin naman, committed na rin naman yung Thailand to host next year. So tuloy-tuloy lang siya as we come too close doon sa objective to be recognized, and the support ng ASEAN Secretariat dahil isa din yun sa anchor idea bakit binigay natin sa Bakamla yung helm. Kasi yun, nandun yung ASEAN Secretariat, and they could always go there and coordinate with ASEAN. And good progress is, previously, it was mentioned na why not consider na maging part kayo ng Annex 2 of the ASEAN Charter. But the recent coordination that they have, the ASEAN Secretariat representative has opened up the idea of why not in Annex 1 of the ASEAN Charter. Thank you.
Thank you. So thank you, sir, for also sharing with us about the Philippine participation in the ASEAN Coast Guard Forum. So hope we are very successful in that there's already that's the reason why we had to discuss about diplomacy, the role of the Coast Guard, not just in implementing local policies on Coast Guard implementation, but also the need for the understanding how we fare in the international scheme. So thank you for pointing that out, sir. Any more feedback po or reflections for the day po? Anyone? Pwede naman pong masarap yung pagkain. Yan po. Yes. Okay. Sige, sir.
Tinignan mo ako, ma'am, kaya parang na-pressure ako magsalita. So, isang key takeaway for me, ma'am, is kasi bago itong nadidinig natin ng mga theories, mga realism, parang bago sa Coast Guard yan. When we entered the service a few years ago, we were taught of certain standards, no? You have this checklist for doing this, checklist for doing that. So I think the key takeaway for this afternoon is to question the status quo of what we believe the Coast Guard should be doing. So because questioning established norms and standards, by questioning established norms and standards, we open ourselves to a new perspective, new ideas, and endless possibilities for the Coast Guard Service. Yun lang.
Thank you, sir. Let's make a disclaimer, sir. Yung question, ibig sabihin, we will try to delve deep. Doesn't necessarily mean for us to understand and perhaps to change it if there's a need to change it. Okay? Kasi minsan in the Filipino context, negatibo po yung pag sinabing questionin. Parang kinokontra na. So let's frame it in the way that when we question, it's for understanding practices and norms. And if it's still relevant, maybe just to rephrase, we continue and which ones we can improve and which ones need to be changed. Okay. Tama ba, sir? Yeah, sir. Challenge, yes, sir. Challenging times. Yes, sir. Anyone perhaps from table, no? This table, that table, and from this table. Sir, wag po kayong tumingin sa pinggan. Wala po sa pinggan ang feedback. Yeah. Yes, sir.
I would like to reflect on the comment made by, actually the question of Captain Ramos about the gray zone conflict. Because actually what China is doing is really a gray zone warfare. So it is a threshold in between, it's occupying the space in between war and peace. So it's a very different kind of warfare. And it's more of, China is not really doing this by accident. It's really a well-planned and coordinated using civilian components like the paramilitaries and the maritime militias. So I think what the Coast Guard should be doing is actually understanding this kind of phenomenon, the gray zone warfare. And I don't know if any of us here is really expert in the gray zone conflict. So I think it's one way of looking at resolving the conflict of the South China Sea. And the other thing is that during the incumbency of Admiral Garcia, he proposed for a Coast Guard attaché in selected and relevant coastal state. But however, the Secretary of Foreign Affairs at the time, Secretary Teodoro Locsin Jr., denied the request to put up this Coast Guard attaché because his actually justifications that we already have a military attaché, and we both know that AFP is not the Coast Guard and the Coast Guard is not AFP. And the AFP cannot speak on behalf of the Philippine Coast Guard. So it would have prevented this escalation if we actually set up a Coast Guard attaché in China. Because the problem is that we're not really talking. We are talking about each other in media, but we are not really talking with each other. And the other one is the art of negotiation, which Captain Deshan actually pointed out. It's very important because in negotiation, it's really a give and take. We know what we want, but we don't know what to give in. Because negotiation should be a zero-sum game where the gain of China is our loss or our gain is the loss of China. It should be actually a win-win. It should not be a zero-sum game. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Just to recap very briefly, Sir mentioned about the gray zone tactics. So maybe that's something, Sir Robert, maybe something that we can talk about in terms of the collaboration. Perhaps also another topic for future capacity building. The other you mentioned is the possibility of Coast Guard attaché in China. But again, maybe again, Sir Robert, this is your opportunity to feedback to our presidential Assistant for Maritime Concerns, to Secretary Centino, that particular concern that the possibility of a Coast Guard attaché. And the last is possibly another opportunity, understanding negotiation tactics. So these are possible. Again, this is not a challenge as it may be also for the education, what do you call this, the education group or command with the Coast Guard that will be able to see, especially in developing Coast Guards into positions of leadership, on how this will factor in. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon po. So my takeaway for this afternoon is the MDA. The keywords are cooperation and collaboration. However, with the different mandates of our government, we do in reality check. We will have a problem in the command and control, and also in or unity of command. However, there are legal remedies as the MDC, the Maritime Domain Center. And I think what is more important is for us to steward more on rather than a unity of command, but rather than a much better unity of effort as a whole of government approach. And as Coast Guard, I think what we should steward for a common ownership of maritime security among other agencies, because maritime security is not just for Coast Guard, not just Philippine Navy, but as well as for the whole country as well, even as the civilian people. So as Coast Guard, I think we should be the one spearheading the common ownership on maritime security for our country. Thank you.
So I think that's, Sir Robert is listening in, so hoping he will be able to also give this feedback to our Secretary Centino also in his office. Any more reflections for this this day?
Personally, ma'am, I appreciate the forum for today. We believe that the operational environment right now is very complex. May it be in economic or security aspect. So, pasensya na po, medyo napadami yung kape ko. Alam po natin na the operational environment is evolving, especially with the advent of information technology. And we live in a volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous environment. On the aspect of security, personally, we must take into consideration not just the technological and diplomacy side. I think we should also consider, number one, political, local, and international also. Because right now, what is happening in the geopolitical arena is very serious. In Western Europe, we have Ukraine-Russia war, and in the Middle East, we have Israel and Iran. And kung puputok pa itong sa West Philippine Sea, I think we already have a World War III scenario. Or baka meron tayong de facto World War, hindi lang natin alam, or hindi lang natin inaamin. So, that is one, political aspect, economic, and also sociological aspect. And the other two is, already mentioned, technology and also the ecology or the environment. During the previous administration, our focus on security scenario or security policy of the previous administration is focused on the internal aspect. We have the LCAP, which is very effective, we must admit that maraming sumuko na mga former rebels. And right now, I observe, it's very, again, it is personal, that we are shifting in the West Philippine Sea issue. And medyo na-downplay yung effectiveness ng LCAC. And I'm not questioning that. And that's the policy of the present administration. Again, my personal thoughts is the enemy is not without. It's not US or China. It is within. It is within us as a country. If we can only think or have a true patriotic spirit as a nation, social balance, and social justice, I think that is the only time that the Philippines will become a force to reckon with. That's all, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Sir mentioned that actually it was in the presentation of Yusek Domingo, right? The political, economic, social, technological, environmental, and military, the PESTEM. It was in the, and then sir actually was a good point on how he interpreted how this particular framework applies also to nakikiawar ako, no? To your mandate in the PCG. Pero sabi nga ni sir, emphasizing, parang ano, yung Coast Guard operations, parang Facebook status lang. It's complicated, di ba, sir? Okay, so any more reflection so that we can proceed? I told you we will end early.